So good evening and welcome to the Donny Chaingang with me, Matt Payne. We are live here from the Old BSL Studios in Eckington, which is where the home of Full Speed Events is, and it is super busy at the moment. We have coming up lots of events, but tonight it is the third of three Donny Chaingangs this week, and tonight we're in Watopia, and our riders just starting to assemble. Should be round about the sort of the 100 rider mark again, which is a nice number, so containable, controllable, and good to see that the ticketing system is keeping people out of the system that basically would disrupt the Chaingang or destroy the workout. So definitely good to see everybody in here. Now we have our yellow beacon already in with us. And we're going to jump in with him, I think, pretty much first. So let's see. We're going to try and get hold of Russ on the end of a phone line, which is not always the easiest thing in the world, but we'll see if we can grab hold of Russ. It's hopefully the tech works. It was working earlier on, but we'll see whether it's working now. So Russ, hopefully on the end. He's definitely lined up on the start line, which is something that we're looking for. We're also looking for our red beacon. No sign of Gail Phillips at the moment. So let's go across to Russ, who is back in the pain cave, but maybe not quite firing on all 240 volts. So Russ, how are you doing?
Does 5 extensions equal 240 volts?
It probably doesn't, to be honest. The voltage drop across that distance might be a bit entertaining.
Yeah, hopefully all good. Gail Phillips, Miss Spreadsheet, Miss Red Beacon, Miss everything as a sort of me a Sparky out for the morning. So, yeah, DCG strikes again. Thanks a lot, Gail. Hopefully we'll be running by the weekend and I can have some proper plays and wire all the sockets up and get rocking and rolling.
Yeah, it sounds really good, and looking forward to seeing what happens when we do that. It is going to be very entertaining when we get you in that cave. We might even be brilliant on there. We're going to have the camera rolling. You never know. I might have to twist your arm into that one, Ross. Back to tonight. We are in Beach Island Loop, one of what is fast becoming one of your favourite courses, because you seem to be very eager to get back to this one.
To be honest, mate, I think I've got it muddled up. There's this one and two bridges, and this is the harder one of the two, and but it's the DCG, so it's not going to be easy, is it? So we'll have fun, It's got a bit of a ramp in it in the middle. But then it's a good rolling circuit. It's not flat. It's not absolutely mega hilly like Tuesday. So it's a good racing circuit. So and it's a short distance, 40. I think we're just under 40k to the finish line, and then a bit of a roll down. So yeah, 41. So yeah, it'll be good fun. I can't remember what we plan to go next week, but next week's looking at a bit more standard than what we used to on the DCG, and then we'll get rolling again and pick some crazy routes up until Christmas.
Yeah, we've got some good plans, and if people aren't aware, then don't forget you do need to join into the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, the DCG gang, to be eligible for some of the giveaways. But there's some amazing giveaways coming up. I'm really looking forward to them. Good to see a number of our riders just coming and joining us. The Women's Only Wednesday was on, and they were on another of Russ's favourite routes, which is the Keith Hill after party. It's one that we use, and is it one of your favourites, Russ, because of the downhill part way through?
I'm not sure. Anything with a hill in it is not my favourite nowadays, but I think that Keith Hill and Leith Hill are just about right for my Barry,
Yeah,
I can just get up and. But I say the women performed great last night. They were tight, and then they lit it up. Emma called a nasty go. I thought she was going to leave it till the bottom of the hill, but she called it early, and it was bodies everywhere, and yeah, it was good to watch.
Yeah, I think she was taking notes and going for the "It ain't easy, it's the Donny Chaingang" moment. But like you say, great to see them all riding together, super tight, super close, and it definitely worked out. So I'm going to let you dive off and keep the troops entertained who are massing on the start line. Looks like you've got plenty of people in. Looks like Gail has joined us as well, so going to be nice and busy down there. We'll catch up with you somewhere out on the route, Russ.
Yeah, so it's just rolling up to 80 members now online. So yeah, it should be a nice game. We might sneak up round 100 tonight, but I think as soon as this sunshine's gone, this next few days, it's going to get very busy. And yeah, hopefully the pain cave's just getting done in time, and I can fully concentrate on keeping the troops happy.
Definitely. Well, good to talk, Russ, and we'll catch up with you later.
Cheers, mate. Have a good one. Catch you soon.
So a great catch up with Russ, who is out on the pier on the promenade warming up. Let's show you where we're heading. This is Beach Island Loop. We come out from downtown Watopia, head up the long drag, go over the bridge, round through the volcano, head up through the S's, over the sprint, take the right-hand turn towards the bridge, then come back in towards the tunnels again. 3 laps of 12.8 kilometres gives us a total distance of 38.4 K, which should mean we've got a 2.6K warm down now. There is a little bit of margin for error in there, with the distance, of course, slightly variable, which is why we just have a fixed finishing point, and that's going to be the downtown lap banner after 3 laps. Remember, of course, that we have 3 laps of 45 metres, so it is 135 metres of height gain, and Russ controlling the main group with our fantastic Gail Red Beacon Phillips, the queen of spreadsheets, the supremo of all spreadsheet things, and the Excel. Definitely going to be on form, I hope, as our Red Beacon. And Gail is going to be posting soon for the Red Beacon. We have tightened up the brief for the Red Beacons based on the last 12 months. It's just got a little bit tighter, and that's just simply to make sure that everybody is able to get around, and we keep this inclusive and really positive chain gang that we've got, and that is the aim. That's the aim, apart from when Russ starts abusing Mr. Mason. But looks like the pair of them are going to be sparring once again out and around the circuit. Let's show you the hills that got to go. The Selconfest Hill Hater, Russ Downing, along with Mr. Mason. So here is our course, courtesy of the fantastic boys at and girls at Velo Viewer. And as you can see, out from the start, climb up to the 1K mark, then it's pretty level out and through the volcano. Before we drop off the volcano, we come across towards the Italian villas. That's directly at the 5K. We climb up through the Italian villas and then take the right-hand turn afterwards. Slight rise at 6.5K before dropping back down into the tunnels, and the tunnels are hit at 9.5K right the way through to 11.25. We then come back out of the tunnels and up towards the top of the climb. Our riders currently getting prepped and ready to go. It's not going to be long before they are up and riding, so we are going to see just who is going to be leading them out. Remember, this course starts off up the climb and then starts to make its way around as it starts, hopefully, to regroup out on the course. Our riders already, though, underway, and it looks to me like everybody just about getting off the line. The gang just starting to group up as they come down onto the course proper. So, as you can see, our riders just about to hit the start gantry. This is where we're going to be. 3 laps time, we're going to be back in there, and let's pull up some stats for you. I think we're going to be jumping in with Ailish Gilbert. And at the moment, Ailish in here just at the moment, riding at 101 watts, 50 revs per minute, just getting the group in together. You can just see up the top of your screen, 150 watts there, 63 revs. The gang coming together for 0.4 of a K done, that's 35 kph, and 50 seconds on the clock. Map top right hand side of the screen, and then the riders that are around Ailish at the moment. Ailish highlighted in the blue, the nearest riders above and below. And as you can see, that gang just starting to bring itself together. And let's see just how close the gang can get. Remember the catchphrase, don't poke the bear. Well, it's there for a reason. Russ, aka the bear, is in charge of tonight. He's our Tuesday and Thursday leader. There are a couple of dates he's not going to be in where we're going to get some stand-ins. So it's going to be very interesting, and good to see that Russ is not taking any grief off a certain Mr. Mason as the riders start to head out now. They're on this slight drag. You can just see just making the climb up here. The red beacon already dropping back, and Gale just doing a great job of keeping check of everybody. So the gang up on to the climbers. Our camera starts to roll in, and the group at the moment just sort of rolling the way through. We're just going to roll our way up beyond Mr. Mason. I mean, you know, wouldn't want him to think the show's all about him. And we'll work our way, hopefully, up towards our yellow beacon. Famous last words, because we are going to hit pretty much everybody else on the way through if we're not careful. So here we go. Taking the right-hand turn. Let's jump in with the guys and girls on the Donny Chaingang live here on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel. So just riding in with Russ at the moment on the Pinarello F on the grey F with the disc wheel and the back deep rim on the front for Russ today. Just checking out what bikes Russ was riding. This is a very fast and flat course, so basically aero is king on this course, and at the moment the gang are just holding it together. It's a little strung out behind, and we're just going to take a little bit of a look at our beacon. So Richardson just pushing on here, Malin not too far. Looks like Cam Fraser's got connection problems. Gale, don't wait for Cam, he can get on. Let's have a little look at Mr. Pritchard. Pritchard, not sure where he's going. Definitely not in the right place. Hopefully he's going to get jumped back into the gang. Fraser at the moment is the rider who is going to get back on again. Cam Fraser is one of our fast pros here. Let's take a look at Gale. Gale is our red beacon. She's one of our key riders, and Cam Fraser behind. Well, he knows that this is the rider who's going to be mopping people up at the back of the group, and absolutely fantastic to chat with Gale today. Now, Gale also responsible for a nomination for Club of the Year for the Donny Chaingang and all of its members, and that was great to know that that was in. Got to say, quite interestingly, we are also in the running for the Indoor Inspiration of the Year, and that is named as Russ and I, but I'm sure Russ would agree with me that basically we're all here because we work on the whole of the chain gang. All of our volunteers, people like Gail Phillips, our red beacons, Emma, the women's beacon, Jimmy Allen, a stand-in beacon for Russ, the riders, the members of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang supporters clubs, they are all absolutely key into making the chain gang happen. If it was down to us and you had to vote, we would be putting it all over Facebook, but really simple. The way it works is we've no idea what they're going to do to choose. We didn't even realise that we've been put into more than one category, so there you go. And as such, we're just going to be quite happy to watch the outcome of it. So let's keep an eye on the gang. Gail just making her way up on towards the back of the chain gang at the moment. Cam Fraser pushing hard to join the group. So front to back at the moment, currently covering about 6 seconds out on course, and that means that our riders, of course, are currently just a little bit strung out. You can just see if we take our drone cam up in the air, the back just started to get stretched out. Taking a quick check around, just in with Mr. Osmond in here. Just seeing Cam Fraser just making his way up towards the back of the group here. So we do need the gang to get back together again. Just seeing Jess Evans just jumping in. Jimmy Allen's in the gang, another man who has the dubious honour of taking over Yellow Beacon duties when Russ is out of action. You can see Jimmy knows the score. He's hovering right around that Yellow Beacon. Greg Bucket in there. Good to see Neil Birmingham in there. It's one of the people who really has made himself at home very quickly, and already just seeing the group forming behind. It's around that red beacon group, so it just shows you at the moment that we are currently already seeing the pace maybe not being quite as sensible as it will be. So let's take a little bit of a look. So we are just at the moment having to push on. Dave Wing just need to push into the back of this gang. Don't ever let the wheels go, because if you do, you've got a massive job to get back on again. It goes to get a real workout. She keeps on going back and then coming forward. You see the people just sprinting in. So Dave Wing just pushing to get into the back of the group. As we come along the side here, we're now going to go out onto the causeway that will take us across towards the Italian village. You can see them just in the distance. So rolling along nice and smoothly at the moment. Our riders just making the way across this causeway. You can just see in the distance the various mountains that we have a habit of climbing up, and Tuesday's route was indeed a mountainous one, and one that a lot of people seem to have weirdly enjoyed. Weirdly enjoyed because it was really quite a tough course. It's not as tough as the one I originally had planned, but yeah, Russ talked me out of it, thank goodness. So let's see just what's going to happen. So at the moment the group working well, just stretching out towards the Italian village. You can see the volcano in the background at the moment. As they come in, they're going to go underneath the archway. Then you can just see to the right hand side of your screen the dust road, the dirt road that takes us up the Strada Bianchi, that takes us up towards the side of the Italian village. We're going to take a left hand turn through the villas and make our way through the tunnel towards the bridge, taking a right hand turn just before the big bridge. So in we go at the moment, and as you can see now, starting to kick up lots of dust and dirt as we come along the roadway. Gail and Jimmy just patrolling the back of the bunch, but the gang are looking like pretty well behaved. Pretty much everybody all together and just keeping the pace. Seeing some interesting numbers on the front. I'm not quite sure who's deciding to do 3.5, 3.6, 3.9 watts per kilo. It's very obvious who you are. Just be aware. You basically consider this a first warning, guys, because we won't tolerate it, and it just disrupts the chain gang. You might think it's funny, but don't bother. So good to see Jess back on the chain gang. Jess, of course, racing at Monsell Hill Climb, because a national hill climb champion, and on a very lightweight bike today. That may not be the best bike of choice for this route. So up towards the top of the course we go. See Jess on the way up the top. So just coming through the villas here, and you can just see the red beacon just starting to sweep these riders along, just fracturing a little as we come in and through the tunnels. So the riders on the way up over the top here. You can just see how fractured it is as they're just on the way through here. The gang just making their way in through the tunnels. The tunnels dripping nicely over the top of our riders, and the gang just going to be working its way around these turns and then taking the right-hand turn in front of the bridge. So now on that cut across, just taking a little bit of a check back across. Douglas in here, Bobby Mason in with the group. You can see Simon Runners just managed to get himself a bit of kit. So it looks like we've got a few people just starting to be distanced off the back. We'll see if we're going to get a few people going back to go give them a hand. We're going to try and drop back as fast as we can to go catch up and see where they are at. So it looks like Craig Herring, Gail Phillips in the gang. Remember, we have 100 and plus riders. Once we hit 100 plus riders, then you find that you can't see the front and the back. Don't believe the numbers that it says on your screens either, because there are plenty of people who are all the way in there. So Gail Phillips in here. So Gail is last man on the road. Then we've got Keith Richardson, Craig Herring, Jeff Saysall gone back. Looks like Gareth Mason just dropping back to go help out. So Gail now just starting to pull back through the back of the group. Just looks like Vin Donahue are rolling around the back of the group. And looks like Cam Fraser here just rolling. So time for the team to push back up again. They're going to get Gail and Keith Richardson together, and this is the way it works. The group at the back working the way to bridge back up to the front. You can see at the moment they're separated by two full sets of turns actually on here on the way down the descent. Our leaders are about to come into that 90-degree turn to take them in towards the big concrete bridge. So if we zoom our map in, you can just see literally headed in opposite directions at the moment. If we take our drone camera up in the air, and you'll see at the moment that it's a long way around to our riders with the yellow beacon, but the team here now 3 riders strong. Craig Herring, Keith Richardson and Gail Phillips in here. Our beacon just being joined here by Gareth Mason. So that's 4 riders about to come together. 5 will be I think it's going to be Jeff Saysall, who's just dropping back in. The next rider just up the road is going to be Cam Fraser. So Saysall just kicking in to get in maybe a little bit faster before don't let him go clear, Jeff, otherwise you could find yourself distance now. Just seeing Cam Mason just about to Cam Fraser just about to drop on, and Cam Mason another fast Scottish cyclist, but here we go. So the team working together here. Jeff Saysall just got to put in a bit of an effort here to get in with the group. That'll become a group of 6. And the aim will be to pull our red beacon back in with the main pack. So there we go, 6 riders together now. This is the chasing group. On the way down, they're going to go hit the slopes and try and pull back that leading group. So you see at the moment Craig Herring in the grey top, then it is Cam Fraser in the blue in that Sigma Sport jersey, Richardson in the black, red and light grey, Mason in the all black with the disc wheeling, red beacon in the group in the all black. That is Gail Phillips as they start to continue to push on. It looks like The riders all going back here. It is a real mix of riders. Let's drop some stats in here. Kieran Smith has gone back. Vin Donny Hughes gone back. Look at this. It's a real bunch just pushing along here. The sooner they get this pack together, Craig Genther's gone back. I can see Craig back in here. And the team here, they all know that to get people back on, you have to go back en masse, pick up a group of riders and drag them forwards. This is fantastic. So just dropping back down, Tasha Waller just getting passed by them on the way back. He's going to get himself back in the gang. Mr. Wilson in here. So good to see Cy Wilson joining in the action. He's going to have a double check, make sure it's that same Cy Wilson. Good to see Cy if it is. No, it's not. It's Steve Wilson. There you go. Always worth a check. So good to see Steve in here. Steve, you need to give it a bit of a push on, mate, here, because the gang will be motoring on past now. The Red Beacon group at the moment motoring along, and it looks like Steve Wilson just dropping out the back of the gang at the moment, and that is going to be difficult for him to get back in. And I think that pack that's just pulled back in again may need to be doing a little bit of a run back as Steve Wilson drops off, and I think Gail will no doubt be putting out a message and seeing what they're up to. So down onto the descent. This is the run down into the tunnels underneath the sea here. As down the slope we go, underground time, and down in through the sea. You'll see Mark Tickle in the team as well. Keith Richards in here. Looks like Shelley Charles from the Team Continental in together. Interesting to see that that downhill has again split the group out a little bit. It's not the easiest of courses this to keep together. We almost do better on the really hilly ones. Ian Mackenzie O'Reilly just distanced a little bit here, just at the back. Gail Phillips just dropping back a touch here. Question is going to be going either jumping on or going back for Steve Wilson. The just not seeing any messages here. So Gail just pushing on to the back of the group, putting out some serious numbers here. Chasing Kieran Smith, Jimmy Allen, and Coat. You can see the two beacons down underneath the sea, down in the tunnels at the moment. And the gang just starting to pull back together again, which is what we want to see. But slightly fractured at the moment. The red beacon again having to work. It's good job we've got a beacon on here. Don't forget the red beacon call out is due to go out fairly soon, and we are going to be looking for some new beacons. If you have been a beacon before, please make sure you have a read of the description. It has changed slightly. We are doing that basically to keep the group together more, to provide the inclusive and positive environment that we want. The red beacons roll slightly different. It's the same roll, but slightly different parameters. The aim is to sit as it was always being described, in fact, which is at 2 to 2.5 watts per kilo, or the slowest rider up to the point of sitting on the gang. So if the slowest rider can still do 3 watts per kilo and sit in the gang, great. If they can't and they need to sit at 2 to 2.5, they need to be back with them as a red beacon. And that is from the word go. That's not just from the go, go, go point. It is from the word go. So please, guys, make sure you have a read. We love our beacons to bits. They're doing an absolutely amazing job, and they have helped make the chain gang what it is today. We just want to make sure that we can keep on doing that, and make sure everybody has a quick check that they're on there. If you think it's easy at the back, holding 2 and 2.5 watts per kilo, it isn't, because you will be working hard. You've seen Gail working back, dropping back, helping people forward, dropping back, helping people forward, and you can see that the team really are working well together to work as a gang here. And if we take a look on the map, you can just see really a tight group there, just starting to come around. They've got a head round to go through in one lap complete. 2 laps to go and hit the line next time. So this will be the final run in 2 more laps of time, and as you can see, this slight little drag here, it's only a few percent coming out from the tunnels up into this right hand turn, has a habit of just splitting the gang apart ever so slightly. The back fracture, it's all about holding the wheels, don't let those gaps go. So here we go, 1 lap nearly complete. We are going to just take a jump in with Russ here as we come up to complete lap number 1. Looking pretty good so far. To see who it is. That's Kieran Smith, the man who we know is more than capable of catching back in. Because we've got Chris Iredale in here. Chris riding along nice and smoothly in here. Johnny Atkinson in the gang as well. Looks like Ruby Isaacs in here. We're going to have Rubesby back with us again, becoming a regular all the way through. Then let's take a little bit of a look at his Collins in here. Tiff Fletcher joining us once again. I think this makes 3 days in a row for Tiff. Not many people have done that, but Tiff managed to do the 3 days in a row. The Tuesday on the mountain, the women's only a Wednesday yesterday, and here today as well. So Tiff clearly getting the bug and sticking in with us. Just having another look, we've got Bertie Widdowson, another rider who is fast becoming a regular. Eddie Dench is in with us. Not sure his legs have recovered yet from the Monsall Hill climb, but Eddie assisted by, of course, Russ and Dina from Downing Cycling coaching, so in here as well. Mr. Coleman's in here, Steve's in here as well. Let's take a little bit of a check through here. Neil Morn in the gang, Andy Singleton back with us again. Andy, one of the people who's been in pretty much from the start as well. See Steve Hilbert is back in. Simon stroke Sean stroke Simon stroke Sean, take your pick what you call him, Mr. Run It Sir, yes, could be for Sir Run It, in the gang here. Tim Cooper back in with us, can see Tim is back, Greg Booker's in the mix, Andy Farrell, and the Belgian place in there for a reason, a man who has been responsible against so many people racing on the continent and racing that UK scene. So the gang starting to stroll out a little bit, just pulling out a touch here. Just rolling our way back through that pack, looking for gaps, but looking good at the moment. Ruby, come on, that's it, push through this group, get into that front group. So Ruby Isaac, one of these riders who are on the climbs will be all right. One of our younger riders, but on the descents, that lighter weight of Ruby, definitely not good news for these lighter riders. So we'll be pushing down up, no doubt, up to that yellow beacon, doing a great ride here, the youngster. So it looks like Gale just with Mark Tickhill here, so just trying to push themselves back in, and it looks to me like Tim Leary just distanced off the back here for some reason, not like Tim. Just looking to see if he's got dropout or issues. I'm sure Gale has been doing the communicating. Mr. Leary's having a slow night. Question is, Tim, do you want people to wait for you or not? That is the question. So it looks like he's up and riding, and certainly I think just distance, I think may well be that we're going to be leaving Tim behind, just having a stroll run. I'm sure he won't be the last on the course by the end, so let's have a look. Don't wait from Tim Leary. Always good to see he's putting it onto the message board. The message board is absolutely key to keeping the group all together, and for our red beacons to do the best job they can, because they're always out there and able to assist people. Now we've got Mackenzie O'Reilly at the moment. If we take a rear view mirror shot, that's number 6 on your keyboards if you're actually riding at the moment. You can see we've got Keith Richardson, we've got Tickhill in here, we've got Isaacs in this gang as well. So Riley just keeping the pace ticking along here, just working with Gail Phillips here, our red beacon, with Riley, with Richardson, with Tickhill, Ruby Isaacs. You can see the numbers that Ruby has to push out here to stay with them. We're seeing 4s and 5 watts per kilo as they come in. So Ruby needing that assistance on those downhills. The moment it goes downhill, the lighter weight riders, you can see Mackenzie Riley is absolutely fast as whatever rider. And at the moment, just being distanced a little bit here. He has to work really hard on these. So you just see he's putting 3.8 watts per kilo, just trying to get in with the gang, but behind the leaders. These riders are now getting well and truly strung out, and you can see, I think we're going to see a very early red beacon on this course, a red bus on the course, being driven by Gale, likely to be hitting quite early on. We're just going to take a little bit of a run up here. So we've got Mark Tickhill, we've got Keith Richardson, Gail Phillips in here, Ruby Isaacs at the moment, just a little distance here at 2.8 watts per kilo, really trying to push hard here, trying to get herself back into that group. And you just see behind the main pack, it is fairly fresh. It's currently sitting at 17 Ks in. Let's see if we catch up with our yellow beacon. Russ having his hands full tonight on this course. Scrolling our way up through the screens, trying to dive in here. If only we could find a very fast way of working through everybody, that would be really good, wouldn't it? So we'll dive right towards the front, work our way from the front back. Having a little hunt for at the moment is a certain Joshua Mailer. Josh in here. Now Josh is one of the key people when it comes to the Halo wheel. So Josh, we're going to be having a chat with Josh about Halloween, and we'll be bringing those details. Remember, this is the end of the month for members of the DCG Gang, Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, and you can just see Josh just on the front in here with this nice pack, not doing too much work, just starting to modulate his power, getting used to the speed here, and being able to ride in with the group. Looks like Russ in the gang, in the middle of this gang, and we're just going to drop hopefully back towards Russ. He says managing to dive in with him. If we take a camera view up, you can see big gaps now between our red beacon and our yellow beacon as the gaps split as they came up here. We're just going to try and drop back and just have a little bit of a view So we've got Gail Phillips at the moment, a good 23 seconds down on Carl Johnson, nearer 30 seconds on the back of the bunch. Now, they are in no man's land, a little bit spread out, so we're just going to be careful because as they come through this gap, it's going to be really interesting to see. They've gone over a fold in the map, basically, in Zwift, and that makes a difference. So Richardson and Phillips and Isaacs here, these are our three. This is where we've got to get the gang back to help, because we've got big time gaps have really opened up very, very quick. So let's see who we got. Craig Herring coming back, ready for a big push. So we're going to see Tickhill coming in this group. Daryl Satchel-Waller in here. Greg Pillsworth's in this group as well. Look at the number of people coming back here. Oh, do you know what? I really love the fact that the Donny Chaingang. If we take a little bit of a look here, Riley's already going back. Mackenzie, you're an absolute star, young man. Definite credit. So here we go. The gaps are quite substantial here. We're looking at a decent sized gap from front to back at the moment. So if we jump in with Gail at the moment, we're in with Gail. We take a little bit of a look up the road. The back of the bunch at the moment is at 14 seconds. 14 seconds to the back of the main bunch. So that's not an impossible task. The group just starting together on the climb. Now this is how it works. The key here is about getting together and pulling it all together nice and smoothly. So here we go. This is the pack. You can see two very distinctive groups. Look how big that group is that's gone back. It's absolutely huge on here. So this is where the team is in and starting to make their way up towards the front where the yellow beacon is. So just going over the folds in the page to come around the turn. So this is going to be the group now. What they can't do is accelerate up too quickly. They've got to pull that gap back down nicely and gradually. So this is our yellow beacon group. You can see the numbers knocked off to get the pack back together again. You can see Russ here doing 1.6 watts per kilo. And this is where you get to see just who was paying attention to the messages and who hasn't been reading the script. Let's take a little bit of a run back through. Just see where the team is behind. So out the back of the pack we go. And you can see the volume here. So here we go. So here we go. This is our red group chasing on here. We've got Gail in here. We've got Tickers in here. We've got Ruby Isaacs in here. We got Carl Johnson, Greg Pillsworth, Craig Geddes. They're all working here to pull the gang back together again. Jeff Cecil, I know, has dropped back. Bertie Widdowson's here. Well done. This is great to see, and you can just see this gang just pulling back together nicely. So just going to try and jump in with the right bit of the gang here. Just going to be really interesting. Now let's have a little look on the map here. We've got two very distinct groups. We've got a yellow beacon group on the front of the course. Now this is where we're going to see where they go. So Let's see who's in the gang and where. Just trying to work our way back through this bunch. It's really tricky to do, it has to be said, to get everybody in. This is a nice big group that are going to go across now. Gail Phillips making his call that she's going to sit with Ruby. Now, Ruby's capable, we know, of 5 watts per kilo, but she's on this downhill, and this is where it gets difficult. Now, we've got Mark Tickers in the gang here. Now, these 3 riders actually are going to be really, well, it's great to see them on the go. So here we go. It is going to go quick. That big chasing group working hard here. Looks like we're just seeing Keith Richards a little bit stranded in no man's land here. He's off that big group that are trying to get back to the yellow beacon, and just ahead of this is our official bus in action now by the look of it. So Gail has got the red tractor started up. She's fired up the engine. She's got rid of the hay stacks, and now on the move. It looks like Jeff Saysel has gone back in to jump in with them as well. So good stuff, Jeff. Thank you very much. It looks like Keith Richards at the moment stuck in no man's land, as is Finn Donahue. This big group, well, it is on a bit of a mission to try and get back in again. This is really, really tough stuff for them. We can remember we are on our 2nd lap. This is going to get really, really tricky because time will run out for them. And if the group, the main pack, doesn't put it together, we have before withheld the magic signal, the magic words. It wouldn't be the first time, it won't probably be the last time. We did think we got a lot out of the old habit of splitting things apart, but we have a couple of riders here. We've got Finn Donahue here pushing 4.6 watts per kilo. He's got to give it some here. You can see that yellow beacon just in front. He's getting ride-ons aplenty, but he's doing the 6 watts per kilo now in his chase. He's got 6 seconds is the gap to make up. You can just see he's chasing these riders on the way down and through. So Vin at the moment 4 seconds back now. So just trying to get back to keep a little bit of an eye on where Vin is. He's just coming onto the back of the group. Well done, Vin. Good catch that. We've just got Keith Richards. He's off the back. Jeff Saysel coming back on. So Jeff is going to be the last of our riders to get on. Jeff, Keith, keep going, guys. We're going to get back on. So Keith Richards, Jeff Saysel, guys. You've got a little bit of time to make it up. You've got Jeff coming. Jeff's a strong rider here. Keith, jump on this wheel. Come on, Jeff. Keep it going. Never mind backing off the pace. So Richards needs to get himself back on into this. You just see Jeff here just kicking on. We need you back in that group, mate, because it's gonna hit the button if we're not careful. So Eddie Dench and Finn Donahue just sitting at the back of the group. Come on, Finn, push into the middle of that. You want to be up by that yellow beacon. Shelley just run at the back, sitting on the yellow. It's the place to be. All pile on rush. Remember, you know, when you were at school, it was all pile on rush. That is how it works, right? So Keith Richards at the moment just trying to work his way up to the back of the group. Come on, Keith. Harness to that Bernard Hino aggression and get into the back of the group there. Not going silly numbers, so not going into the red, just nicely clawing it back. So Richards is going to come through, Jeff is going to come through, and they're going to get the group together here. So that is the band basically back together again. All in the pack. Our riders are now, it is the bus being driven by the red beacon, Gail Phillips, and then we have the yellow beacon group, and the yellow beacon group is the group that has Russ in. That's our key leader, and that is where everything is. So Keith is back in again. So here we go. Team basically back together again. It looks like Ruby and Mark and Gail just working the way down this slowly to get to working together as a team. Eddie Dench just running on the back of this group. Looks like Tasha Waller just easing off the back here. Dangerous thing to do at this stage in the game. Looks like the front has suddenly decided to accelerate back again, so everybody is all pretty much all the way back in again. We just seeing it fracturing again. It is a bit like under 9s at football up at the front. So Russ nicely underneath the C there. We're just going to just keep a check on the gang as they come through. Just about holding together. So here we go, around these twists and turns. So you can just hear the whales in the background. The school of dolphins just working its way around our riders. The Red Beacon and team working together. Just see Dave Hopkins is back in with us as well. Paul Dickinson in the gang here. Kevin Smith rolling around nicely. Everybody just sitting on top. Just got Oscar Saxton with us. Good to see you, Oscar. To Fletcher in there. Great work getting everybody all back together again. This is our Red Beacon group here, the three working well together. Jeff Saysel sandwiched behind our leaders, but we don't need to worry about that too much. We're on the ramp out of the tunnels at the moment, so definitely a tough spot on here. The climb on its way here, just keeping everybody on their toes because that 3% really does kick in. So remember, when we hit the line, it will be 1 lap to go, 12.8k at that point, and that is going to be just in the distance. Just watching Paul Marlin in this group. If we take the camera up into the air, well, you can see almost everybody all together. Looks like Les Wilcoxon back in. Good to see you again, Les. Chris Gale, Mr. Osman in here. Stefano Pirelli once again in the team. I think he's in his Lamprey-inspired kit at the moment. Not sure about pink and black. Well, the Red Beacon up onto that same climb, so the gap not absolutely huge at the moment as they start to make the way up. We're going to hit the folding page, just going to jump in with Mr. Bishop at the moment as we're taking that right-hand turn. Remember, it's 1 lap to go when we hit the line this time round. Just coming around that right-hand turn on the map at the moment. Things nice and tight together, dropping in. It's going to be 1 lap to go. This the Beach Island Loop, 3 laps, 41k the total distance. The finish line going to come at 39. 26k coming, currently 44 minutes on the clock. So our gang are working well together, just making the way through, raining down thumbs up on our riders. Here we go, Chris Gale in the middle of this bunch, Greenway in here as well. Sean Ferron, the go has gone. The go has gone. Russ has hit the button. The plunger has been pushed. It is time for it to go back. Looks like Simon Rudd is going to be regretting having to take a break right now, but getting your timing right for all things that you need to do is not good news now. Bertie Winston already said he's going to go back. Worst stop time ever, I think, for Simon there by far. Now, let's have a look. Now, Mackenzie Riley here, this youngster was working like a loon at the back to bring the riders back in. He's been absolutely busted. And got one stage, I think it was nearly a minute off the back, bringing riders back into the group. and Mackenzie doing a great job. Now, Simon Runnett is going to have to chase like mad because this is the front of the group. We're on that climb out. We're going to take the right-hand turn over onto the glass bridge. Things are going to get really, really hectic indeed. But at the moment, this is the leading group. These are our riders who are away at the front of the group. If we zoom out on our map, you can see it is starting to become dot to dot behind our riders in the front of this. So this is what we want to see. So Andy Verrill distanced off the group here. Jeff Saysal just having to take a pause. Mr. Runnett on a big chase here. Bertie heading back in. So Bertie, nice strip, mate. I'm liking that. Might have to have a little bit of that strip going on there. Looks really good. So it looks like Tiff, after doing 3 days in a row, just sitting at the back, just waiting for that beacon group. This is our red bus. This is Mark Tickle, Ruby Essex and Gail Phillips. They're going through currently with what is going to be a distance of 12.8k to go. We're going to jump our way right up towards the front of the group. We're going to try and jump in with a man who really has impressed, Neil Birmingham. It's literally less than a handful of rides so far, and at the moment looking very, very good in this leading group. It is fractured behind though. If we take our drone camera up from Neil and start spinning so we can take a little bit of a look back, this is the front group and a select group of riders. So we have 20 riders at most on the front here, a little bit of a split behind Jimmy Allen in that Levy Claire style kit. It looks like Atkinson is just chasing onto the wheels behind, so Johnny Atkinson going to make contact here. So good to see Josh Mayland in this group here, the man from Halo in the group. Looks like Chris Idale just coming off the front from Velo Viewer. Great to see our riders coming in and joining us, who basically help the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club riders. The discounts and the giveaways exclusively for them. As up on to the front, a little bit of a kick here as Craig Genther goes on the offensive, and he's giving it some beans at the moment, just starting to stretch the group out here. So Genther sitting at 6 watts per kilo behind him. Conley starting to close the gap down. Then it is Chris Idale of Velaskin coming up in the grey and orange. And you can get discount if you're a member of the DCG gang on those Velaskin products, and for every purchase you make, Velaskin will support the chain gang as well. So make sure you get in, as Craig Herring would say, fill your baskets, and make sure you use those discount codes if you're a member of the DCG gang. Now, Shelley Charles at the moment, just at the back of this group, the Aberystwyth just on the back, just starting to, Aberystwyth man just pushing his way back into the group. Let's take a little bit of a look here. It looks like Booker in this group. Look at Cam Fraser there, just rolling around with Russ at the back, not using too much energy. Looks like Eddie Dench in this group as well. Front of the group, starting to stretch it yet again. We're just going to take a little bit of a check here, because I think this is going to be Lendil here, who's gone on to the front. So Sam Lendil just up at the front of the group. You can see Sam in with us here on the Donny Chaingang, as we can just see Richardson right on the front of the group here, but it is rolling around completely. So Mike being told to jump on rather than hump on John Garfoot there. I think that was a typo, not a Freudian slip. So Genther moving up, Keith Hayward on the push here, Conley in the Macy's group. We're riding together well, 30k under the wheels of these riders now. And look at the gap that's opened up behind. This is the chasing group. They are two very distinct groups, and this course really does lend itself to a group to pack riding at the moment. Dave Fulton, Richard Langmead in here, Dick Samall in here as well. Looks like Vin Donoghue in this group, Sean Ferron in here. Just keeping a check. Looks like Johnny Atkinson in here as well. That's interesting. Carl Johnson in here. Sean Ferron in. Dr. D in here. So Dr. D in the green there. Mr. Greenaway in as well. But this is our group who are chasing. This is group number 2. Group number 1 still all together, but that gap is currently sitting at 24 seconds. So I think the gap well and truly gone. Let's jump back a little bit. We're going to try and find ourselves the next group on the road, and this is group number 3 here, just in with Ailish Gilbert. Ailish in the orange kit here. So Colin Bell in here, Ailish Gilbert in, Steve Hilbert just rolling up onto the front here, pushing his way through, keeping that pace nice and high here. It's got Carl Briggs in here, got Greg Pillsworth, Keith Richards, Chris Ball. Looks like Paul Coleman, Ben Canners in here, Paul Mallin in script. So it really is a tight group here. They've got 4 seconds to the group in front. So 4 seconds to get up to this group, and then it is going to be another push up to the leaders, because the leaders continue to try and extend that gap up at the front. The pace is pretty hot with Russell currently on the chase. He's going after these leaders on the road at the moment. Now it is Cam Fraser who's got the lead. He went clear on that draggy climb coming out of the Italian villages, coming over the top. He's pulled clear, though 2 very, very quick riders if it comes down into a sprint. And Johnny Atkins is actually up in this group here. You can see Johnny's actually on a different bike than I was expecting, which is why he's right in the mix here. As coming flying through, I think that's Tasha Waller. So it's Tasha Waller being followed by Johnny Atkinson, Kieran Smith right in the mix. Greg Bucket in here, Rob Barty in the mix as well, just riding in with Mason at the moment. And the man on the back, that is going to be Russ Downing. So Russ sitting on the back here, playing it smooth. Got that old school crash hat on as well, just coming through the hairnet. Just on Russ as he makes his way onto the back and wheels this group, just laying off a little bit here. He'll still be getting a little bit of assistance, but you can see having to put out a fair amount of Watson's come up over the top here. Now it's basically downhill from here all the way from this road junction all the way to that climb out of the tunnels. So Fraser on the back of this group as the rain starts to come down. This is where it's going to start getting busy. You can see the Red Beat group is properly on it tonight. I am loving all the messages in there. Ruby in that group with Gail. Looks like Bertie Widdowson in there. They're all starting on the wind-up, which is great to see now. Just seeing Chris Iredale having been on that front group, just dropping off. Just like Malin splitting off that front group as well. Dobson doing the same, Riley doing the same. Steve G doing the same. Then it is going to be Richardson, Cooper and Leach. Shelley Charles then with Lendhill and Sadler. Then it's back to Robin. They are all over the road at the moment, and this is just simply because of the pace of the road. It's not slow to go over those hills. That attack and that big push on that came from Fraser whittled the group down, but this is still a relatively big leading group as they're coming down into the tunnels. It's been very hard to split this group on that descent. So are we going to see everybody just tow the sprinters like Russ and like Gareth Mason into the line? Are we going to see some more attacking riding, some more positive moves to try and shed those riders? Well, look at this. Move being made. Darrell Waller and Atkinson along with Fraser. Just getting the jump, leaving it to Mason to chase, but Mason's gone clear here. So Kieran Smith now starting to make his way across. Looks like Russ trying to make his way with them. Kieran Smith has seen the danger of letting Mason go on this descent, and Mason is going to make contact with this front group. Mason with a very, very fast kick, remember, but Kieran Smith has definitely been the rider who I think has taken away Gareth Mason's title of winner of the most chain gangs over the time, but Kieran not afraid of doing his turn on the front. He's certainly a rider who's not afraid to stick his nose into the wind and working his way down here at 6 point. Once he comes in and through behind that group, almost reforming and breaking Justine Greg Booker in the blue, making his way onto the back wheel of Darrell Waller. So here we go. Craig Genther now rolls his way up on to the front here. So it's Genther on the front. This is our leading group, just rolling in with the moment of the flat cap. That is Kieran Smith. So we have Kieran Smith in here with the flat cap, just alongside in the blue Sigma Sport. That is Cam Fraser, Craig Genther just moving his way up to the front. Johnny Atkinson in here, but here comes the rest of the group. And after those speculative attacks, it's all about who's worn who out as they come through. Now, are we going to see another big kick off the front? We are. And this time you can just see that the pressure is being put on here by Jimmy Allen. Jimmy Allen's got company though. So it looks like Davison in here as well from Evo. He was sitting in there very quietly, and if these two go together, look at the numbers there, 6-7 watts per kilo from Davison. They're starting to stretch that gap out. Can they hold off the riders behind? Well, we're just taking a little bit of a look. They've opened the gap. It's not going to be far before we start climbing out. We take this right-hand turn and line ourselves up for the ramp out. Now we know that Jimmy can climb. Our man from Evo, Davison, are likely to be able to do the same as Thomas Davison from the Evo squad. Sat on the front here with Jimmy Allen behind. If these two can work together, they're going to distance the rest behind. It looks like they're all across the road here, and that is a surefire sign that this lot, no, they're not putting the pressure on yet, just starting to see the kick coming now as they go onto the hill. Kieran Smith it is who's leading the chase across. He puts in that aero power up as well. He's looking to make that junction to get across to Jimmy Allen and to Davidson behind. They're all having to react. You can just see the numbers coming from Mason, from Fraser, from Downing. The gap opening up a little bit. Booker's having to put a big kick in here as Davidson just goes up onto the heels but can't hold the wheel of Kieran Smith. So Kieran Smith has gone clear here. He knows exactly how far it is into the finish. This man knows every single course here, I think, inside out. He knows where to kick. He spent time making sure he gets this absolutely down now. Mason is chasing, then Downing coming over the top as well. So Downing now on the hunt here, trying to close down. Remember, plenty of people were poking the bear earlier on. Downing's putting a power up here. He's got an aero power up left, and Fraser's trying to go with him. Then it is going to be Fraser behind Downing, and then Darrell Waller trying to come. Now, can they pull back? Kieran Smith, Kieran is going to be looking over his shoulder. You can see them behind him. So here they go, big push, trying to kick in, trying to stretch this out, trying to drop down. So it is Kieran Smith who has put that kick in. Kieran, because former hill climb medalist, all the riders behind are trying to close him down. We're just going to have to let everybody else get round across the fold in the map. But this man has got the gap at the moment. He's on 7 seconds. Now the fight behind is going to be about who can take it out from that group. And at the moment, it looks to me like it is going to be Kieran Smith who is going to come in and through the line Greg Booker coming through as well. So Booker and Kieran Smith going through. Looks sort of like Booker was just off our screens for some reason there. Not quite sure why. He dropped out completely. So looks like all these groups just making their way in and underline. That's our leaders in and through. We're just getting a little bit of a jump about here, which is not making life particularly easy, I have to admit. So next up is going to be Varty and Osman coming through with Atkinson. And then we're going to drop back. It should be Connolly, who was distanced from that original leading group. So great effort in and over the line. A massive sprint in to get through the finish. Apologies for not getting all of our front riders coming in and through the line. So next up is Birmingham. So interestingly, that the fact like this, Mason can never see Booker. Birmingham goes through Chris Iredale, going through Steve G, goes through Josh Mayland. Great ride by Josh today. Dobson goes through, just dropping back to our next riders. I think on the course, tricky to see just who is going to be our next riders up the road. I think this is likely to have one rider just up there, and that's going to be Tim Cooper. So it's Tim coming in next. So it's Tim Cooper on his way into the line. He comes through, and then it's going to be this sprint. It's between Richardson and Leach. I think Leach just getting that, and then we're going to take a little bit of a run up the road here. So just looking to see Andy Scotland's group in front of him here, the gang all coming in. So apologies, we look sort of like the screen's just struggling to catch everybody as they come in and through the line here. So looks like we're going to have to try and catch you on the way in, not always all that easy. So this is definitely our next group on the way in. I'm just taking a little bit of a look back, and this is going to be Pillsworth on the heels here of Gilbert. Gilbert's going to be our first female rider in and through the line here. This is going to be the run for the finish here, and just seeing, I think it's going to be Coleman. So it's Coleman who's just put the kick in there. So it's Coleman, then it's going to be Malin, and Malin just edging out Ailish Gilbert in the orange, and then Pillsworth coming through. Hilbert just behind with Briggs and Ball. Richards and Co. Raccoon coming through. We're just going to drop back, Simon, run it on a good chase there. Next rider on the way in is going to be Cannons. So Ben Cannons at the moment just in front, but this is the man who's going for it. We see him put in a fantastic sprint every single time here. It is Malin, but behind him is coming Bell. Is Bell going to get this? Bell just coming on, pushing. Oh, he just rolls him on the line there. Fantastic stuff. That's what we want to see. Ted coming through, Stefano Borelli coming in. Kirkham, Bishop, Mason and Co. Looks like Andy Wolf coming through Woodward, making his way in as well. And that means our next man on the road is going to be Cannon. So Cannon, our next rider on the way into the line here, is going to be our next rider in through the finishing line on the beach island. Looks like Steve Cannon goes through. Then it's going to be this group of riders next, and it looks like it's going to be Davis who's opening up the sprint on the front here. So it's Davis who's going to come in and through. Davis takes it behind him. Then it is Wingy, Keith Hayward going through. Just going to be Paul Dickinson, I think, the next rider out on course. So Dickinson pushing his way in towards the line. We've got Chris Sadler's just out on course. So we're just going to take a little bit of a check back here. So as he comes in, I think David Hodkinson, Mark Tickhill, Les Woodcockson, I think, still out on course. We've got Andy Singleton, Bertie Widowson, Ruby Isaacs, Gail Phillips and Daryl. So Gail Phillips, they are our riders in that bunch at the back there, just on the other side of the fold. So Dickinson going to be our next rider in through the finish here. Just see him go along the beach side, making his way in and underneath the gantry. So he's our next rider in. We're just going back to David Hodkinson, our next rider coming across the up that climb. Going to be taking that right-hand turn. So Hodkinson takes the right-hand turn behind it. Then this is our red beacon group working well together. Great to see the gang working so smoothly here together. Then in front is the Ferrell Wilcoxon group. Hodkinson in front of them, just pushing his way down in towards the finishing line. So 3 distinct groups out on the course. So great riding by David Hodkinson. Good to have you back on the gang. So in comes Hodkinson. Good ride by David Hodkinson, another of our riders who we know is always going to give it everything, just making his way in towards the finish line here. And that's the Zwift airship goes across above the riders. And as they come through the finish, it is going to be Hodkinson, our next rider in and through. So good riding by Hodkinson. He makes his way in and going to drop across. I think we're going to be looking for Les Wilcoxon. He should, in theory, be part of our next duo on the course, just on this climb behind him. Then you just got Andy Ferrell just sat in this group, so it's Ferrell in the black, Wilcoxon in the yellow behind them. Then we've got Phillips, Tickle, and it's going to be Widowson, Singleton and Isaac, the 5-rider red beacon group. But Andy Ferrell at the moment with Les Wilcoxon just making their way up this section of the course. So the team are working well together, and this is exactly why we do the chain gang. Got our 2 riders here just making their way up. They're going to be taking this left-hand turn. Not all that far behind. This is our red beacon group who've been working so well together here, and this is what we want to see. All of our riders working well together. The team coming in towards the finish and making it look nice and smooth just up in front, having taken that turn of Wilcoxon and Ferrell. And then this is the group. It is Widowson, Tickhill, Phillips, Singleton and Isaacs. Let's jump up. Who's this going to be now? Les Wilcoxon is the rider on the Tron bike in the green kit. Then we've got Andy Verrill in that Belgian kit, as we would expect, and just tagged on the back wheel. The question is, who's got the jump, who's got the kick? We're going to be going in towards that finishing line. We're going to watch them come in and through. And somebody who knows Andy Verrill well, just on the end of the phone line, Russ. Good to have you on the line, and we're just watching Andy Ferrell and Les Wilcoxon come through, 2 people who've been around the sport for a long time.
Yeah, you know, they've been in some teams with Andy, and seen Les on here a few times, so yeah, looks like they're having a battle royale there in the flat, so it's all good.
Yeah, got themselves in, and then behind we've got this amazing group, the Red Beacon group, just coming in. Looks like Mark Tickle will be the first of the riders that's going to kick in and sprint in through the line behind. Then this is the group. It's going to be the Red Beacon group coming through all together. So Gail Phillips goes through with Bertie Widowson and Ruby Isaac and Andy Singleton. What a great group. That is exactly what we want to see, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good to see Bertie didn't jump him on the line or whatever. He had some. He stuck to the rules of the gruppetto and rolled in together tightly. So, you know, great job by Gail. You know, there's nothing that a woman can't do. She can send emails. She can do spreadsheets. She can ride Red Beacon. she can sort electricians out. So yeah, I think she's just got a new job as my PA, really.
I don't think you can afford her, mate. I know what job she does in real life. And I would agree. There's
I'm sure she'll be.
definitely a very competent person to have on board by far. So it's been a
Buy a
busy
pint
day.
down the pub, mate, on a Saturday. Or 2 or 3 or 4.
Or 2 or 3 or 4 indeed. So another day done, another week done on the Donny Chain Gang. Got a big email coming out over the weekend to the members of the DCG gang. Remember, that's the place to be. Please remember, guys, when you jump on, if you donate to be a member of the DCG gang, we do reserve the right not to admit you. That does happen to a number of people. You won't get your money back once you've done it, because you've ticked the terms and conditions to say that you know it is a non-refundable donation. We also, of course, have the ticketing system in place so we can keep an eye on what's going on. Russ and I will no doubt be doing our usual and reviewing it with all of the footage on the way past. And got to say, this is the reason we do the chain gang groups like this. We're just seeing them coming on the way in to the finish. So Russ currently sat at home, hopefully just starting to get warmed down as our red beacon rides in and through towards the finish. So Russ, we'll catch up with you live online on Tuesday coming up.
Yeah, I'm just tapping it out with Lady Dens. She's got his bike and beer top on, so I'm just going to grab a beer out of his back pocket and then roll on into the kitchen. So yeah, cheers for the wheel, lady.
Sounds like a plan, Stan. We'll catch you soon. Cheers, Russ.
Cheers, mate. Good job and great riding, gang.
So great to catch up with Russ. Our gang are now rolling out. So it just remains for me to say thank you very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the Downing Cycling YouTube channel. Make sure that you get yourselves on the team, and make sure, of course, that you're ready for the next Donny Chaingang coming to you on Tuesday of next week.